Hey everybody. So today I wanted to talk about a new golf ball company in the low budget urethane market, and that is a company called Sphera. They contacted me over Reddit and asked to review their balls. So I'm going to do that, and it's going to be an honest review. They did not pay me for this, and I am not affiliated with them in any way. So they gave me a dozen of these Pro 3s and a dozen of the Pro 4s. The main difference between them: this is a 3-piece, the Pro 3s, meant for swing speeds under 95 miles an hour. 4-piece on the Pro 4s, meant over 95 miles an hour. Packaging wise, look pretty good. They don't stink, so far Kirkland is still the only ball to come out smelling like a dirty factory. Yeah, visually speaking, they seem like they're good balls. Let's talk a little bit about the ball now. The 3-piece, as you can see here, is got a large inner core, very skinny middle core, and then a fairly thick outer cover. The 4-piece is very similar, large inner core, 2 very skinny middle layers, and then a fairly thick outer cover. And to show what I mean about a fairly thick outer cover, here is a TP5X. You can note how much skinnier the outer cover is, which my guess on this is the skinnier cover, the thinner cover, translates to more ball speed because more of the energy is transferring through the inner core rather than the outer core. Could be 100% wrong on that, but that's my guess. Also, you could note that here's a resin. You can still see the core is the cover is a little thicker than the TP5X, but it's still thinner than the cover on the Sphera. So another interesting thing is I like an Instagram that's called Golf Ball Guts, and I was looking through that the other day, actually for this ball before I cut it open, and I found a ball made by Cut Golf, which is a Cut Golf Blue, which is a 4-piece urethane, and it looks exactly like this one, to a T. Same colors, same thicknesses on the layers, and even the same black line like this running through it, and makes me believe that it's probably made by the same parent company, and it's probably exactly the same ball. Could be wrong again, but usually you don't see a ball that has everything the same. Like even you cut open a Vice or a Pro V, and these are going to be different colors or different thicknesses, and there's always something a little different about them. Even like when you look at, like, here's a resin platinum on this side and a resin black that would be on your left, my right. You can see even the thicknesses of the layers are slightly different, and the blue is different, different colors. Or, you know, go to that TP5X, and you've got different colors again. So the fact that it's completely the same colors, layer, thickness, and everything makes me think it's the same ball. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about the ball in general. So here they are. Hopefully you can see them. They look good. They feel good. They're not quite as soft as, say, like a Callaway Chrome Soft, but they're also not as clicky as like a 2016 resin black or platinum. They've got this nice dark line, which is nice for putting. The only downside that I see with these, and this might not be an issue if you only bought one or the other, but because I've got both, and especially in here because I'm trying to switch between balls and hit one ball and then hit the other ball, I couldn't tell which one is which. I'd have to always bend over and look, because if you look at this, that's really the only difference, and it's really hard to see, especially with my old eyes, unless I'm right up close to it. So if it was me, I would do something about that if I was Sphera. But my fix was I put some blue dots all over the 4-piece ball so I know what the difference was. So anyways, I wound up hitting all my shots ahead of time. What I wound up doing is I went through every club in the bag for the 3-piece, the 4-piece, a 2017 Pro V1, and a 2017 Taylormade TP5. I'm not hitting the ball great right now, so I had a lot of mishits. So what I wound up doing is I would just go through a club and I would make sure that I hit what I felt like was as good of a shot as I could hit, and I kept that one and I moved on. And so I did that, you know, stayed with the club, moved through each ball, and then moved down a club, and I just keep hitting until I did a good representation, or as good as I felt I could do with each club. So there might still be a little bit of variation in it, but I try to take as much out as I could to show accurately what a good strike for me on each ball does. But that data, I should say, that data is going to be in the video description in an Imgur link that you'll have in a file that basically will look like an Excel file, but it'll be in picture format, so you can see it and you can examine all the data and make a decision for yourself what ball you think is best, or if there is even a better ball, if they're all comparable. But let's just give a little highlight review, and I'll hit a couple shots and just kind of show some numbers and talk a little bit about the Sphera balls and their competition. So this is the 3-piece ball, I believe. Yes, this is the 3-piece ball. First I'll just do like a 75-ish yard shot. Now 65 yards. Actually, let's clear that. Let's clear my warm-up crap. We'll start this over. Alright. And hopefully the birds don't chirp. I try to take them off, but they kind of have their own mind, and there is no setting on in the software to actually turn them off. You can turn the audio off, but then you also turn the ball landing and all that stuff. So 75 yards. See, there's the birds again. Now 68 yards. And I'd expect the ball in this spin for me to be about 9,000 RPMs. That was 8,500. That's probably about right. Could have hit that. I did hit a little teeny bit thick. Here's the 4-piece. That one will spin better. That was a better strike. Yeah, see, that one was 9,600. So I gained 1,000 RPMs from just having a better strike, which is in line with a Pro V1. Like, here's a 2017 Pro V1. Hit another one of those 75 yarders. Again, that was thick, so that's going to spin less. So that should be more in line with the first ball. 7,800. So it's a little low. Let's try and hit one clean again, just to show that it's similar. There we go. That was clean, even though I pulled it a little bit. So that's 8,700. So you can kind of see it's right in that range. One more. Here is the Kirkland. I didn't actually put this in the review, but I thought I'd hit a couple in this because this, in my opinion, is the king of the low dollar urethane balls. But you can't get them. All right, 75 yards. Did I do a good job of that? Not bad. And that was 8,500. So let's hit a couple full shots now. I will hit a 9-iron and maybe like a 5-iron. And we'll kind of go from there. So this is the, what is this? This will be the 3-piece ball first. All right, hopefully for a good swing. Not bad, a little thick. Then cut the ball speed down. I expect that to be more in the 120 range. When a perfectly struck 9-iron for me is closer to 124. That was 119. And on good shots, this ball was getting into the 123 range. Just gonna see if I hit game options again, if it kills the birds or not. Sometimes it'll kill the birds, sometimes it won't. Let's go for the Pro 4. That was hit a little thin. That's a long ball though. It's one of those balls that are a teeny bit thin and then the launch angle is decreased. You can, yeah, so see the first one was 23.6, that one was 19.5. So that's where all the extra distance was. Just closing that face up. Oh, that was a good ball. That was well struck. That's a good representation. Should be, at least. Only 120. 22.4. 8,800 RPMs a spin. So for a 9-iron, that's about right. I will say, I do find that there is a little bit better energy for me, so better ball speed with the TP5, but that's not just against Sphera, that's against every ball I've tested against the TP5. So here's the TP5. I'll show what that does. Pretty good strike. And you can see that's picked up almost 10 yards, 124 miles an hour. So I think that has a little bit to do with the TP5 itself. I find that the TP5 is just a ball that does better on ball speed for me. It might not be the same for everybody, but for my swing, it tends to hold true. And the data is going to show that the ball speeds on the TP5 was better than the Pro V, better than the Sphera 3 and 4 piece, pretty consistently. So here is a 6-iron. Just hit a couple of these. That was a good strike. I just kind of pulled it off to the left. 204. It's a pretty good distance. Which one was this? That's the 4-piece. 141 miles an hour. That's a great ball speed for a 6-iron. 5,900 RPMs. So a teeny tiny bit high on the spin rate for my liking, but it's still in line with what other urethane balls would do. Get the 3-piece now. Another one of those that shot just mirrors that other one. Virtually the same distance. 139 miles an hour, so a little slower. That could be me. 5,700 RPMs a spin, so had a little less ball speed, a little less spin. End result is almost the same distance. And if we go against, say, the Pro V here, hopefully I can actually make a better swing and not do that little left, off to the left pull, but we'll see. Better swing. $139 miles an hour, so right in the range. That is 5,500 RPMs a spin, so a couple hundred RPMs less, and the result was the ball went a little bit further. Not much, a couple yards. Let's hit, well actually I'm going to hit a 3-iron. This could not go as planned, but I want to show where the real advantage of the TP5 is, which is that it is really long on the long irons when hit properly. So let's hit 1 each of the 3-iron. Hopefully I don't do my normal miss with the 3-iron, which is a big block out to the right. So a push fade, and it winds up killing all the distance and all the speed. We'll do our best not to. Kind of. So that was the 3-piece, 150 miles an hour, 149. Here is the 4-piece. Now maybe my hope is now I'll just mirror all of that. I'll mirror that shot with the next couple. Still try to hit it better though. That was good. Still a little bit of a block fade. That one just felt primo off the face. Got a couple extra yards out of it. Still 149. Now if I go to the TP5, if I hit it as well as those two, it should be a longer ball. Should be. Well, it's going to be a longer ball simply because it didn't fade. But you'll see it's a significantly longer ball. Look at that. So 151, so a little bit faster, a couple miles, 1-2 miles an hour. But that one was, what, 245 carry instead of 230 carry? Yeah, 226, 230, then 243. So I probably 4 or 5 yards of that is because it didn't fade it, and the rest of it is just simply that ball does a little bit better on spin, a little higher launch. So it does a little bit better. Let's hit a 3-wood now. As soon as I find my 3-wood, which one's my 3-wood? That's my 3-wood. And I found the Spheras actually were pretty good off the fairway woods. Let's see if we can hit a nice shot here. Spin. That is not a nice shot. I don't even know which ball this is. This is the 4-piece. Let's get one more on that. Yeah. Not a good swing by me. Better. Hit that little teeny bit thick, but at least I got through it square. Huge ball, partly because it has low spin. So that's not exactly entirely accurate. That's 292, had 2,000 RPMs of spin. That was probably more like 285, because the GC2 does tend to overcorrect low spin a little bit more than it should. And when you get into like the 1,800, 2,000 range. So here's the 3-piece. Come on, GC2, pick it up. There we go. God. Ignore that. This is me swinging horrible. What I've been doing like the last 2 weeks. Just garbage. Can't keep anything consistent, and I feel it in the middle of the swing, and I just can't stop it. All right. Oh, come on, that was actually a good ball. See if I can duplicate that again. Thin and high spin. It's not great. Luckily I hit some better shots in the data that you'll see. And again, actually I'll put the Kirkland up against it this time. Let's hit one with the Kirkland. That was a good ball. Even though I kind of fell back off of it to make sure I lifted up on it. So, yeah, 168. Not my best, but not bad. So let's go to the verdict. For me, the verdict is that I think that it is a comparable ball against the Pro V1 and other urethane balls in that class. You know, Bridgestone B330, you know, Z-Star. I don't think it's quite as good as them in some degrees. So like, for example, for me, the TP5 and TP5X beat everything. It's not just that it beats the Sphera, it also beats the Pro V1, the B330, the Z-Star, all other balls in its category. But that's me. That might not be the case for the next person. So these balls, I think, for the right individual are going to be a great ball. Just like the Kirkland for the right individual is a great ball. The problem that I have with it is that the Spheras retail for $25 for the 3-piece and $29.99 or $30 for the 4-piece. So they're a few dollars more than the cut. They're double the price for the 4-piece over the Kirklands when you can get the Kirklands. And they're right in the same price range as Weiss and Snell. With that in mind, are they better than those balls? And my answer to that is simply, I don't think it is. I think they're very comparable, but they're not better. So the problem that I think Sphera has is that it is a good ball. It is not a better ball than its competition. So then that leaves it strictly down to aesthetics and, you know, whether or not you find that one ball works particularly better for one swing and not for the other. For my swing, it doesn't work any better than a Kirkland. In fact, I think the Kirkland works a little bit better. So that's where I think their issue is going to be. Not that it's not a good ball, because it is a good ball, but it's not better. So take that as you will, and I hope you've found this informational. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the video description and I'll try to answer them. And once again, finally, the detail for every single club is in the video link description, so make sure you click on it if you want to see more detail rather than just this quick tutorial. Thanks.